guys, welcome along. I'm here with Leah, obviously. Leah, sort of boss lady of the essays in Birmingham, and the amazing Lesley Tao, of course, who is property investor extraordinaire.
Oh,
and all
thanks.
sorts of other things. So we're down here in Cambridge. We've had a day of goal setting and mentoring with Lesley, who is one of our amazing mentors. And we just thought that while we were down here together, that we'd pull together a video, just maybe tackling some of the questions that are out there around essay. So obviously Lesley's very experienced in essay, runs the amazing masterclasses, and obviously we've been running essays as well now for a good 6 months or so. So yeah, so we're just going to tackle some essay stuff.
Yeah, so is it Tammy in particular who left a 45-minute video because it just to document his experience, right? So we thought we might.
This is especially for you, Tanmay, and anybody else that thinks it'll be useful. So some of the questions, I guess, were around systemising. Well, area, you know, in terms of area, how can I get my occupancy up? And also then systemising. So if we could sort of cover each of those.
From what I remember, Tammy is in Sheffield. I see.
I can't remember actually.
No,
yeah.
And let's deal with occupancy rates
Let's
first,
do that.
right?
Yeah.
Because like the short-term booking platforms such as Booking.com, AirBnB, and loads more.
Yeah.
That's just a starting point, in my opinion, on your essay journey.
Yeah.
You should really start to look for sort of longer-term corporate-led clients and direct bookings as much as possible. Would you guys agree with me?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And especially so if you're getting more than one essay unit on, because you need to stabilise your business as much as possible.
Yeah.
But to start off with, these platforms are a great booster, but obviously bear in mind that there are some like null and void periods, like seasons, so that's normally like approaching Christmas, January, February, where it's a bit quiet.
Yeah.
But so that's really when you should be getting, like, let's say, your different longer term corporate tenants in. So the question is, how do you find corporate tenants?
Yeah.
You guys have had a few through, haven't you?
We have. I mean, we did a couple of things. So I don't want to give away all the secrets.
Yeah.
But we did a couple of things. But I think a lot of it is just making sure that you've got a really good standard, such that when people book, that they will repeat book. So we've kind of like tried to make sure that in our welcome pack we've got information about how people can book directly, because I think that's one of the easiest ways, just getting repeat bookers from people that have booked with you on Booking.com, but also, you know, just reaching out to local companies. You know, you might put together a corporate brochure or whatever it be, but just some way of getting your name, your brand out there, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on this point, I'll give an example of a friend of mine who's operating essays in Birmingham. So she's had 100% occupancy rate, I believe, since December, which is incredible. Yeah. And that's because she's actively gone out to look for her clients. Yeah. And before we talk about her clientele, in Birmingham, I do want to talk about Birmingham because I get lots of messages every day of people who have set up a rent to essay in Birmingham and it's not operating properly, or they're losing money. Are you guys getting the same since you're in Birmingham and are the go-to people?
We do get a lot of people asking kind of like about Birmingham and stuff, and we've had a few calls lately. I think Birmingham as an area, I think a lot of people have kind of seen it as a bit of a gold mine because it is very busy, like from a tourist perspective, a lot more international tourists coming to Birmingham. However, you know, I think the thing about Birmingham, and obviously, like Leah, you know this more than I do, because you're living there now every day, but all areas of the city centre are not created equal, if that makes sense. And actually there are some areas of the city centre that will work really well and some areas that don't work really well, even though they might tick the box of being really close to the station or close to, you know, the attractions in the centre of Birmingham. Some of the areas, like any kind of like city centre, are what you would refer to as a bit dodgy. You know, you wouldn't necessarily want to be walking down them like late at night, you know, if you were like a female lone traveller or something. So I think people have just got to be really careful of the area.
How do they avoid these areas if they don't know Birmingham that well?
I think you have to go. I think if you won't...
I thought you were going to say, call me.
No.
No, it's like, no, not that many calls.
Yeah, you can call Leah.
No, Leah's like, no.
You just have to go. At the end of the day, if you're going to invest anything, any of your money or anything in an area, unless you really want it to be completely hands-off and you're willing to just give your money over and hope and pray that it's fine, you should go and check out the merchandise. You know, you wouldn't buy a car without going to like test drive it. So if you're going to invest in an area, go and check out the area. You'll soon get a sense of what it is, you know, kind of the streets nearby. Is there like, you know, rubbish out on the lawns, on, you know, in the front gardens, and mattresses out in the front. You'll get a sense for it.
Do you think that people have got the shiny coin syndrome? So they heard that the Miller's doing really well in Birmingham, so they've come to Birmingham. They heard that Leslie's doing really well in Cambridge, so everyone's come to Cambridge.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, and I feel like what people miss in terms of the fact that we went for Birmingham is that Mum was born there, and then moved over, and then I've now moved to Birmingham, and I went to uni there, so we do know the areas really well, so we know where to avoid. Whereas I think if you go in cold to Birmingham, you'll so easily like pick the wrong area. Like it's so easy to just go down the wrong street, and then it's like, where am I? Like, just so easy. So I think people need to just be careful. Like some parts of Birmingham are amazing and can really work, but then not every place is nice, so just be careful.
So I would say like the biggest advice we would give is, why don't you look on your doorstep to see whether an SA unit will work there, instead of going somewhere that you're not familiar with.
And I'd say as well, like I feel like a couple of people who live in London have been like coming up to Birmingham to operate SA, but then when you actually look at the places in between London and Birmingham that would work fine, and they'd be closer to where you live and probably nicer than Birmingham, you may as well just go there.
And Birmingham, you know, Birmingham is a real party city as well at the moment, so you know, the incidences of people getting SAs trashed and theft and everything, if you're not really careful about the systems, we can talk about the systems in a bit, is quite high. There is risk of that in Birmingham because, you know, at the moment it's one of the capitals for stag do's, hen parties, all of that sort of thing, so all of that risk comes with it.
I was having a chat with Ashley about this. Birmingham is like party central, because like a lot of things that happen there don't happen here.
Right.
So that's really interesting. Let's talk about that in part 2, Systemisation.
So I guess in terms of systems then, you know, we can sort of split this up into a few areas, but what would you say, Lesley, are some of the main systems that are absolutely critical to sort of take the pressure off managing day-to-day?
Shall I just give the really easy answer to that? So if you don't like management or you don't have the time for it, just get a management company. Sorry, it's not very helpful.
That's the easiest way.
Just get a management company to get you up and running. But don't just get a management company or person that doesn't have any experience, even if they give you like cheaper rates, because you want to see that they've got a history of, you know, doing a good job for other clients essentially. Because if you get somebody that doesn't have much experience, they might just offer a low percentage to charge you, but you know, they have no like experience of how to get your occupancy rates up, how to make your ad stand out, you know, and management in general. I think that's rule number 1, right? But get a good management company on, and they can take the stress off you, but you'll just have lower profit margins.
Because running an SA is like running a business. I think that's the thing that people don't realise. You know, I know it is there's one of the property strategies, but it is like a lot of the areas of property, it is like running a business, a very complex business at times.
So if you're of the mindset, and you should do if you're running a business, we need to do whatever we can to get clients in and make it work, then your business should run quite well, because you're thinking outside the box all the time. You know, how to upgrade your services, upgrade your products, that's really important. But if you're just, you know, thinking that you can go into this business and just put a standard product on the market without putting all the other work into it, that's where you're going to run into problems.
Sure.
Would you agree?
Definitely. What are your thoughts in terms of system? What are the critical systems that we can't live with?
So if you're managing yourself,
if you're self-managing,
what we're doing.
So obviously Leah is our day-to-day sort of manager of the SA. So what can you not live without in terms of systems?
I couldn't live without our amazing virtual assistant and also our amazing cleaner, because the cleaners are essentially your first line of defence if anything goes wrong. So if something's broken, they're going to be the ones to feed back. So I think you do really need to get a good cleaner who is going to feed those things back. You don't want them to leave it a week and then it's like, oh, by the way, the sofa's broken. And then our virtual assistant, she sort of deals with the guests and taking payments and things like that, because I don't really like all the admin stuff, so having her is good.
The thing I'd add about the cleaner as well, I think it's having a cleaner that you trust enough to also potentially have to meet your guests. if that makes sense, because there will be times when they will meet your guests. So you've got to make sure that, you know, they're going to, because they're representing you and your business, you've got to make sure that they're of, you know, kind of like a similar mindset really, and they're gonna represent you really well.
Yeah, so I guess number one is your power team, right? So you're managing yourself, your power team, which is
your VA,
your cleaner, who also probably looks after the laundry.
Yeah.
And also you have your emergency power team that are your emergency plumbers or builders, maintenance.
And that's who I guess so Leah sort of manages those, like those.
Check you out.
Yeah.
And apart from, so that's your power team, but then you also have to automate and systemize your business and put terms and conditions and rules in, right, for the guests essentially. And give them consequences if they break those rules.
And there's always, I think, in terms of all of that stuff, all of that paperwork, you know, your terms and conditions, your deposits, your all of that, you've got to really sort of think that through and have that all in place when you go. Because I think when you go if you go live and you haven't got those things in place, that's when you're at risk of having your place trashed or, you know,
absolutely. And you know, I think, you know, obviously you guys take a deposit as well. With us, we don't take a deposit. Interesting, hey? We don't take a deposit only because we haven't had the crazy parties that we have in Birmingham, and we want to get our rooms like, you know, occupancy rates like filled out. So we do like one night bookings and so forth. But we just have to be a bit careful about who books last minute and make sure they're verified. But that's how everyone has slightly different markets. So we have a deposit as a caution, I guess. We've never have we ever had to charge anybody out of the deposit? I don't think we have we?
We've tried.
But it's more of a deterrent, I think, for the party goers. What other systems do you kind of like have in place that are sort of
like as a platform, we're with Avivo, and I know there's been a lot of criticism about Avivo from, like, especially from the academy members, like, who are using them. So my viewpoint is that there's no platform at the moment which is perfect. Like, from us, the only problems we've had with Avivo is double bookings. And we even had a triple booking one time as well. And it is annoying, but I don't think there's a perfect system out there. But we are going to be trialling a few other ones because we're taking on quite a number of new units. So our portfolio is growing massively. So I've heard that Kigo is quite good. So, and I also want to try out, is it called Vivo by Payments?
We're looking at, we're currently with Avivo, but we've had a few problems.
What have you had?
We've had some double bookings actually as well. So you know,
is that easier for you to shuffle around though?
It is when you've got a block, but sometimes then if the check-in instructions have gone out already, you then get somebody turning up at an apartment that somebody else is already in. Yes, we've had that happen. So double bookings is something we've had a couple of times, and then also we've had an issue with sometimes not all of the payments going through, which obviously isn't something that you can afford. Luckily, we kind of spotted it. Sort of spotted it and was able to go back. But we've, you know, other ones that we've heard of, there's one called Guesty, Beds, there's a few others that we're looking at. Hopefully we'll find something.
And then share it with the community.
We will do,
if it's any good.
The group. Absolutely.
Just thinking what else to talk about. I'm just trying to think of Tammy's like 45-minute ride.
In terms of setup, SA setup. And the challenges of SA setup. So Tanmay, thank you Tanmay for your lovely video. Tanmay talked about how difficult the setup was, and I think it's fair to say this is something we noticed when you're setting up an SA. If you're doing it yourself anyway, be prepared to lose some pounds because it really does take a lot of it. It's like
you mean like weight? I was like
and some money. It's because it's not zero money yet. It does actually take money.
The setup, I think you just have to be more methodical and and organised in your setup, right? So from experience, the first two things to do is get your Wi-Fi set up as number one, because it might take some time for the engineer to come out. Number two, get your bookings up, even if your pictures aren't there yet, because that's, you know, where you make your money from.
Absolutely.
And then everything else comes.
And that's exactly, I think that's really good. You know, when I watched Tanmay's video, that's the one thing I was thinking about. When we got our very first SA, we knew that we were due to pick the keys up on that Saturday, and we'd already, like on booking.com, we'd already set the listing ready with just some like crappy photos, kind of almost ready to go, and then we had the photographer booked for the Tuesday. So we kind of like booked the furniture deliveries and everything to kind of coordinate with the photographer to make sure that it was all ready to go, kind of up and ready. But yeah, there are loads of checklists online, aren't there? I think for when you're setting up an essay.
Yeah, I'm actually going to send one out.
Okay.
Yeah, just a very basic one because I think
Cool.
I think people need it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I gathered.
So a checklist of all of the stuff. So yeah, that would be useful, and then it wouldn't be as daunting.
I know.
What else about setup? Key stuff maybe.
Automated messages. Is that part of the setup?
To
some extent.
Yeah,
I think online stuff.
Yeah, we use automated messages. I think our lesson around that is just being careful that guests aren't being overwhelmed by automated messages, and just making sure that they're getting the information that they need, because it's easy to bombard, because they have to get all of the T's and C's as well. It's easy to bombard them. So we had quite a few automated messages, and then we really pared it back to actually just what are the critical ones. How do they get into the apartment? You know, all of those sorts of things. Yeah.
I would say as well to book your photographer for a certain date so that you know that that's when you like go live.
Yeah.
Because I've heard of people who take like 4 weeks to set up one apartment.
Wow.
We took 4 weeks to set up the block of 6. So I think if you have a photographer, it's like you've got to get it done in that time frame. There's no like, especially if it's rent to SA, because you have to pay a month's rent. So there's not really any time for like dilly-dallying around.
I think 4 weeks is probably like, without being too strict, but it's far too long.
Yeah.
I expect your essay to be up and running in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so if it's taking 4 weeks, you know that you can. You could do better.
Yeah.
I think the quickest I've done is 4 days. 4 days plus a night, and it was like a 6-bedroom house that needed loads
there
of
you
work.
go.
That was pretty
That's
stressful.
benchmark.
Yeah. Well, it's rent to SA is a quick business, right? So you don't want to be spending too much time on it because it's going to affect your the money that goes into your pocket.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think, and then just, I guess the final thing in terms of systemising. So we recently went to stay in an SA down in London, and it was one of these where there was no key safe, so you had to tell them what time like you were going to be there to check in, and also actually you the latest you could check in was like 7 in the evening, something. It was the most inconvenient experience I've ever had in terms of staying away. So if you've got an SA, figure out some way that the guests can really just pick the key up whenever they. If you can't do a key nest or a key safe or a smart lock, get a key nest or some other system, because it's really inconvenient to have to agree with the owner when you're going to be there. It just really messes up your plans.
I think you've got to put yourself really in the shoes of the guest and upgrade your service accommodation to hotel standards. And actually, before you even get there, you should really, when you're choosing your gold mine area, have a think about your clientele. Because ours is a mixed, so we try and up the standards. But if you've got, like, for example, contractors as your clientele, then you might not need to go like boutique end, right? That's something to think about. Who are my clients when you're choosing your gold mine area? And that will determine the standards of your essay as well. I think that's it. I think we missed out. That if it would be, people want to know about, so that'd be good for the community.
I don't think so. I mean, if anybody has got any questions, like put them in the comments, and then one of the three of us will try and answer.
I think the two main things after they get their keys that they're struggling with that I understand is bookings and systemisation.
I mean, I think the bookings, obviously that's the quality of the listing of your photos and stuff.
And your title, your photos, your description. And what your property looks like. Because in Birmingham, there's so much competition,
Absolutely,
right? But obviously you guys keep your essays at quite boutique end. But I don't think you ever drop your prices too much, right?
Not massively. We sort of rather use other offers if we need to for short-term stuff rather than dropping the prices.
Because you hold your standards there. It's like a Hilton, suddenly dropping its prices down
like a
to
travel lodge.
So
Exactly.
it depends what sort of market you're in. And then when the business grows, you systemise it as much as possible.
And I think the systemising, I guess the tip I would give on that is just almost like look at each part of the business, like break it down. You can't necessarily do everything on day one, but break it all down. So if it's the booking process or getting the IDs of the guests or the payment process, just break it down and then think about, okay, you know, how is it doing and where can I make those improvements so that it's a bit more manageable rather than everything being unmanaged. But you can't fix everything on day one. Just break it all down and then work through the systems differently. And we're still systemising more stuff.
Yeah, we are too.
It doesn't stop, you know. So,
yeah. Good job. All right.
Cool. Anything else to add, Leah?
No, that's it.
Sure. All right. Lots of love to everybody.
So thank you so much, Lesley.
Thank you,
Leah.
Oh.
Boss lady. Right, we'll see you again soon. Hope you've enjoyed it, and yeah, leave us some comments and we'll see what we can do to help you out in your essay journey.
I know.
Thank you.
Call Leah.
No, don't call me.
Cheers.
Right. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
We'll work.
Yeah.
Does that work for you? Are we still in the frame?
Are we like in the frame? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's
Okay.
the content.